Ambassador Jake Morrison had been warned that first impressions mattered at the Galactic Council. What nobody told him was that bringing Mr. Whiskers would constitute a galactic incident. He stepped off the transport shuttle with his regulation diplomatic briefcase in one hand and a standard-issue pet carrier in the other. The carrier had little heart-shaped ventilation holes. Inside, 16 pounds of orange tabby cat judged the universe and found it wanting. "Welcome, Ambassador Morrison, to the Zenith Station," announced Council Leader Threnix, who looked like someone had given a praying mantis a business degree and severe anxiety. His exoskeleton was doing that thing where it tried to maintain a pleasant green color but kept flickering to nervous yellow. "We are honored to host humanity's first permanent representative to the Council. Thanks, Threnix. Call me Jake." He set down the carrier. "Hope you don't mind. I brought my emotional support animal. Figured a 6-month posting. Gets lonely, you know." Threnix's compound eyes focused on the carrier. Then all of his eyes focused on the carrier. Then his aide, Pix, a floating blob of sentient gas who somehow managed to convey existential dread, also focused on the carrier. "That is, a living creature?" Pix's voice modulated through the translation collar like someone gargling marbles. "Yep, Mr. Whiskers, Felis Catus. Totally harmless." Jake unlatched the carrier door. What emerged was, by human standards, an adorable chunk of a cat with amber eyes and fur that caught the station's artificial lighting like a sunset. Mr. Whiskers stretched, yawned, and made a small chirping sound. By alien standards, an apex predator had just entered the room. Threnix took 3 steps backward. Pix's gaseous form literally dispersed 2 feet to the right. Down the corridor, someone screamed. Are those retractable claws?" Threnix's antennae were flat against his head, a gesture Jake's cultural briefing had. Specifically labeled as severe distress. "Well, yeah. But he's super friendly. Watch." Jake reached down and scratched behind Mr. Whiskers' ears. The cat immediately began purring, a sound that registered on the station's seismic sensors as a low-frequency threat rumble. It is making territorial dominance sounds." Pix had retreated further. "That's purring. It means he's happy. Why would a predator announce happiness? That makes no tactical sense." Mr. Whiskers, sensing the diplomatic tension, or possibly just being a cat, decided this was the perfect moment to sit down and lick his own butt. Threnix's color went full emergency orange. "Ambassador Morrison," he said with the careful tone of someone trying not to trigger an international incident. "Perhaps we should discuss your companion animal with our xenobiology team before allowing it to roam freely through the station." "Sure thing. But seriously, he's harmless. We keep millions of these on Earth. Kids play with them." The translator collar actually glitched trying to process that statement. "Your young interact willingly with predators? I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds weird." Mr. Whiskers chose that moment to notice his own tail and entered into mortal combat with it, spinning in a circle while making small, aggressive chirps. "It is attacking itself," Pix observed. "Is it defective?" "No, that's normal cat behavior." "I require sedatives," Threnix announced to nobody in particular. "Pix, please escort Ambassador Morrison and his predator to quarters 773, the ones in the isolated wing." "The very isolated wing? You guys don't have pets in space?" Jake picked up the carrier, though Mr. Whiskers had no intention of getting back inside. "We have companion plants," Threnix said weakly. "They do not have teeth." "Wait until you hear about dogs," Jake muttered, following Pix down the corridor while Mr. Whiskers trotted alongside, tail held, high like a furry flag of conquest. Behind them, Threnix was already on his communicator. "Yes, Council emergency line. We have a situation. The humans have arrived. And they brought their teeth." Security Chief Gremble had seen combat across 14 star systems. He had faced down the Krellian swarm fleets, negotiated hostage situations with reality-bending Vorp terrorists, and once personally escorted a sentient black hole through a peace treaty signing. He was not easily intimidated. He was currently intimidated. "So let me get this straight," Gremble said, his 4 arms gesturing at the holographic display floating above his desk. His species, the Torgan, were built like bipedal rhinos crossed with philosophers. Right now, he was having philosophical concerns. "This creature has retractable claws made of keratin, which according to this database, is the same material as human fingernails." "Yeah, pretty much," Jake said, lounging in the chair across from Gremble with the confidence of someone who definitely should not be that confident. Mr. Whiskers sat in his lap, loaf style, eyes half closed in that way cats do when they are plotting something. "And these claws are Let me read this correctly. 18 times sharper than a standard surgical scalpel? If you want to get technical about it. Gremble scrolled through the data, his expression growing more concerned with each line. Night vision capabilities. Hearing range up to 64 kilohertz. Reaction time of 70 milliseconds. Flexible spine, allowing for rapid directional changes mid-leap. And this cannot be accurate. Survive falls from 32 meters with minimal injury. Terminal velocity thing. They spread out and kind of parachute down. It is pretty cool, actually. Ambassador Morrison, this is not cool. This is a weapons system. Mr. Whiskers yawned, revealing teeth that the holographic scanner immediately flagged as puncture hazards. He is literally licking his paw right now, Jake pointed out. Yes, grooming weapons for optimal performance. I have read about this. Gremble pulled up another file. And according to your own Earth biological databases, this species is an obligate carnivore, meaning it must consume meat to survive? Well, yeah, but we feed him kibble. It has got tuna flavoring and everything. Tuna. That is a prey species from your oceans. I mean, when you strip away all the context, everything sounds bad. Gremble's communicator chirped. He tapped it with one massive finger. What? Sir, we have received 14 requests for quarters reassignment in the last 20 minutes, his aide reported. All from ambassadors whose rooms are on the same deck as the human. Tell them we will handle it. Gremble closed his eyes, which for a Torgan meant closing both the primary and secondary set. Ambassador Morrison, I'm going to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Shoot. On your planet, what percentage of households contain these predators? Roughly 25% of families own cats. Some people have, multiple cats. Gremble's hand slammed on the desk. Multiple. You keep multiple apex predators in your dwelling spaces? My neighbor has 6. 6. Yeah, she is kind of a cat lady. There is a whole thing on Earth. People who really love cats end up with a bunch of them. Your species domesticates predators for entertainment and companionship. They are very affectionate. Watch. Jake lifted Mr. Whiskers and pressed his face directly into the cat's belly fur, making kissing noises. Gremble stood up so fast his chair shot backward. You are placing your vulnerable facial organs directly into strike range. It is called a belly rub, dude. Calm down. Mr. Whiskers tolerated this for exactly 4 seconds before deciding he had had enough, swatting Jake's face with a soft paw. Claws retracted, because he was being nice. It attacked you, Gremble was, reaching for his emergency alert button. That was a love tap. If he wanted to hurt me, trust me, I would know. Down the corridor, Ambassador Cleet, whose species had evolved from something resembling Earth parakeets, was speed-walking past Gremble's office when he caught sight of Mr. Whiskers through the window. His crest feathers immediately stood straight up, and he released a distress call that activated 3 separate fire alarms. I am requesting a full security detail, Gremble announced, typing furiously. Motion trackers in every corridor on Deck 7, proximity alerts, and someone get me a xenobiologist who specializes in predator containment. You guys are really overreacting. Ambassador Morrison, your emotional support animal has the capability to decapitate most species on this station with a single swipe. Yesterday, our most dangerous resident was Ambassador Cleet, and his species' primary defense mechanism is screaming and fainting. Mr. Whiskers would not decapitate anyone. He is a sweetie. Jake scratched under the cat's chin. The purring resumed, and Gremble's threat assessment computer immediately started calculating blast radius. That noise, Gremble said quietly. Make it stop making that noise. It is purring. It means he likes you. I did not ask for his approval. I want him contained. Mr. Whiskers, sensing the tension or possibly just being contrary, jumped down from Jake's lap and padded over to Gremble's desk. He sat down directly in front of the security chief and made direct, unblinking eye contact. It is challenging me, Gremble whispered. He wants you to pet him. I will not yield to psychological warfare. Mr. Whiskers slow blinked, a gesture that in cat language means affection and trust, but in Gremble's interpretation meant something far more sinister. Sir, his aide's voice came through the comm again. Ambassador Cleet is requesting an emergency session of the Council. He is claiming humanity has brought a weapon of mass destruction aboard the station. Jake sighed. It is going to be a long 6 months, isn't it? Gremble stared at Mr. Whiskers. Mr. Whiskers stared back. Longer than you think, Ambassador. Much longer than you think. The incident occurred at exactly 1900 hours station time, during the monthly diplomatic dinner of cultural exchange. Jake had been specifically asked to leave Mr. Whiskers in his quarters, secured, locked, and preferably sedated. He had left Mr. Whiskers in his quarters. The secured and locked part was technically accomplished. The sedation seemed unnecessary for a cat who had spent the last 3 hours napping. What nobody had explained to Jake was that the environmental ventilation system on Zenith Station connected every single room through a network of ducts wide enough for maintenance drones to navigate. Or, as it turned out, for one curious orange tabby. Jake was midway through explaining Earth cuisine to a very confused Ambassador Rolt, whose species absorbed nutrients through their skin, when his communicator exploded with alerts. Predator loose. Deck 4. All personnel engage emergency protocols. Oh, you have got to be kidding me, Jake muttered. On the other side of the dining hall, Ambassador Cleet's feathers went full poof. I knew it. I knew this would happen. The beast has escaped containment. Everybody relax. I will go get him. Jake stood up, napkin still tucked into his collar. Negative, Ambassador Morrison. Grembel's voice crackled through every speaker in the room. Security teams are mobilizing. Please remain in the dining hall for your own safety. Grembel, buddy. He is literally just a cat. A cat that has just been spotted in the Aquarian delegation's habitat module. Jake's blood went cold, but not for the reasons everyone else's did. Oh no. Oh no? Threnix's antennae were doing a full panic dance. What do you mean, oh no? What is worse than what is already happening? The Aquarians. They are like fish people, right? They are an amphibious species, yes. And they live in water tanks? Yes. Custom-built habitat pods that simulate their homeworld's oceans. Why are you asking this with that expression on your face? Jake was already running. He arrived at the Aquarian habitat deck to find 3 security teams in full tactical gear, plasma rifles charged, night vision goggles deployed, moving in a standard breach formation toward the main observation tank. Inside the tank, visible through the transparent aluminum viewing wall, 7 Aquarian diplomats were pressed against the far side, their bioluminescent skin patterns flashing distress signals in rapid succession. Their translator units were screaming a garbled mix of surface predator and all is lost, and what Jake was pretty sure was the Aquarian equivalent of prayer. And there, perched on the edge of the tank with one paw dipped lazily in the water, was Mr. Whiskers. He was fishing. All units, prepare to engage, Grembel commanded through the tactical channel. Belay that, Jake shouted, pushing through the security perimeter. Nobody shoot my cat. Ambassador Morrison, please step back behind the safety cordon. Grembel, I swear to God, if anyone shoots Mr. Whiskers, I will personally file a diplomatic incident report so long it will crash your entire bureaucratic system. Mr. Whiskers, completely oblivious to the armed standoff, pulled his paw out of the water and licked it thoughtfully. Then he dipped it back in, splashing slightly. The Aquarians released a synchronized wail. He is tasting them, one of the security officers whispered in horror. Evaluating prey flavor. He is playing with the water because cats are weird about water. Stand down. Jake reached into his pocket and pulled out the galaxy's most advanced military technology, a $5 laser pointer from the Walmart checkout lane. He clicked it on and aimed the red dot at the floor. Mr. Whiskers' pupils dilated to full satellite dish mode. His butt wiggled, and then, abandoning his fishing expedition entirely, he launched himself at the moving red dot with the single-minded focus of a heat-seeking missile. What is that? Grembel asked as Jake led Mr. Whiskers away from the habitat tank with the laser pointer, the cat pouncing and sliding across the polished floor. Advanced Predator Redirection Technology. We call it a laser pointer. That is just a focused light beam. Yeah, and he will chase it for like 20 minutes. It is basically cat hypnosis. Behind them, the Aquarians were slowly emerging from their panic, though their skin patterns were still flashing, what Jake's cultural database translated as, "We have witnessed the face of death, and it has whiskers." Jake led Mr. Whiskers down 3 corridors, up 2 decks, and past a group of maintenance workers who all pressed themselves against the walls as the cat trotted by, focused entirely on the magical red dot. They finally arrived at the observation deck, where the station's massive viewing windows showed the swirling colors of the Epsilon Nebula. A beam of actual sunlight, carefully filtered and directed through the station's solar collection array, streamed through one section. Mr. Whiskers saw the sunbeam. The laser pointer was immediately forgotten. He walked into the patch of light, circled exactly 3 times, and flopped down with a satisfied chirp. Within seconds, he was asleep, belly up, paws curled. That was how Grembel and his entire security team found them. Jake sitting cross-legged on the floor, and Mr. Whiskers dead asleep in a sunbeam, snoring softly. "This," Gremble said slowly, "is your fearsome predator?" "Yep, absolutely terrifying. It is napping. He had a big adventure. Adventures are exhausting when you are a cat." Around them, a crowd had gathered. Ambassadors, staff, security personnel, all staring at the sleeping cat with expressions ranging from confusion to residual. Terror, too, in a few cases, dawning understanding. "On your world," Ambassador Rolt said quietly, "how many of these creatures exist?" "Like 600 million, give or take. 600 million apex predators, just living among you?" "Well, when you say it like that." Threnix had arrived, his color now a sort of resigned beige. "Ambassador Morrison, we need to have a very serious conversation about Earth's ecosystem and your species' definition of the word harmless." "Mr." Whiskers rolled over in his sleep, paws twitching as he dreamed of whatever cats dream about, probably the Aquarians. "Yeah," Jake said, watching his cat sleep peacefully while surrounded by traumatized aliens. "I am starting to think we might have different perspectives on that." The cultural exchange presentation had seemed like a good idea at the time. A chance for Jake to clear up the misunderstandings, show the aliens that Earth pets were normal and harmless, and maybe get everyone to stop treating Mr. Whiskers like a biological weapon. In retrospect, Jake really should have thought this through. The council chamber was packed. Every ambassador, their staff, xenobiologists, security personnel, and what looked like several members of the station's trauma counseling team had shown up. Threnix had even arranged for the presentation to be broadcast station-wide, because apparently everyone needed to understand the human-predator situation. Jake stood at the podium. Mr. Whiskers sitting on the table beside him like a fluffy, judgmental statue. The holographic display behind him showed the title slide. "Earth Companion Animals, a guide for our galactic friends." Okay, so, let me start by saying that keeping pets is completely normal on Earth. It is a sign of civilization, empathy, and companionship. The audience murmured. Gremble, sitting in the front row with his arms crossed, looked skeptical. "Let me show you some examples." Jake clicked to the next slide, which showed a making compilation of cat videos. Cats knocking things off tables, cats squeezing into boxes, cats running sideways for no reason. The internet's greatest hits. As you can see, cats are playful, curious creatures who enjoy simple activities and, enrichment. "That one just committed premeditated destruction of property," Ambassador Cleet observed, pointing at a video of a cat deliberately shoving a glass off a counter while maintaining eye contact with its owner. "Yeah, they do that. It is kind of a dominance thing. Or maybe they are just jerks. We are not really sure." "You are not sure why your predators engage in psychological warfare?" "I mean, we have theories." Jake clicked to the next slide, cat hunting behaviors. This was where things started to go sideways. The video showed a cat in a backyard, stalking a bird, belly low to the ground, butt wiggling, eyes locked on target. Then the pounce, the grab, the natural conclusion. 3 ambassadors fainted. Pix's gaseous form temporarily lost cohesion. Someone in the back row was crying. "Okay, so, yes, cats hunt, but this is instinctive behavior. Most house cats are well fed and just do this for, entertainment." "Entertainment," Threnix repeated, his color now a sickly purple. "They kill for sport." When you strip away the context, everything sounds bad. Moving on. The next slide was titled, "The Domestication of Cats, a 10,000-year partnership." Jake had thought this would help. It did not help. So, cats basically domesticated themselves. They showed up at early human agricultural settlements because we attracted rodents, and the cats ate the rodents, and we were like, "Hey, that is pretty useful." So we started leaving out food for them, and eventually they moved in and became part of the family. "Let me clarify," Gremble said, raising one massive hand. "These predators infiltrated your settlements, demonstrated their killing efficiency, and you responded by rewarding them with food. And shelter? I mean, yeah, but it was symbiotic. We got pest control, they got reliable meals. Win-win. That is not symbiosis. That is a protection racket." Jake was starting to sweat. "Let me show you other Earth pets. Maybe that will help." It did not help. The next slide showed dogs, golden retrievers, German shepherds, huskies, all looking adorable. The audience seemed cautiously relieved. "These are dogs, Canis familiaris. They are very loyal, very friendly, and humans have kept them as companions for over 30,000 years. They appear less threatening, Ambassador Rolt noted. What do they eat? Well, they are also carnivores. The relief evaporated, but very domesticated ones. Let me show you what they do. Jake played a video of a golden retriever playing fetch, tail wagging, clearly thrilled to be alive. It is retrieving objects for the human, Threnix observed. Is this a servitude relationship? No, they just like it. It makes them happy. Why would a predator enjoy serving humans? Because we bred them to, over thousands of years. The room went very quiet. You, Gremble said slowly. Genetically modified predators to enjoy serving you. Okay, genetically modified is a strong term. We just selectively bred for traits we liked. You created custom predators. We created good boys. Jake was losing control of the narrative. And girls. Good girls, too. He clicked to the next slide, hoping to salvage this. Instead, he showed ferrets. Oh no, Jake said. What are those? Cleet's voice was barely a whisper. Those are ferrets. Mustela putorius furo. They are like little tube-shaped weasels that people keep as pets. Why are they shaped like that? So they can chase prey into burrows. Of course they can. Jake quickly clicked through the remaining slides. Parrots, which he tried to spin as friendly but couldn't hide the fact that they had beaks that could crack nuts. Snakes, which caused a complete evacuation of the left side of the chamber. And finally, in a moment of complete panic, he showed a photo of his childhood pet tarantula. Some people keep spiders, he said weakly. Spiders, someone screamed. Threnix stood up, his full 2 meters of mantis diplomat drawing himself to maximum authority. Ambassador Morrison, I believe we need to reconsider Earth's application to the Galactic Council. What? Why? Because your species either has no concept of danger, or you are the most terrifyingly apex species we have ever encountered. You keep predators in your homes. You genetically engineer them for specific purposes. You let your offspring interact with them, and you consider this normal. It is normal. On what rational basis? Jake looked at Mr. Whiskers, who chose that exact moment to start grooming his butt again. Because, Jake said, they are soft, and they make us happy. The room was silent. That is it? Gremble asked. That is your species' justification for living alongside predators? They are soft. And the happy thing, that is important too. By that logic, Ambassador Rolt said, humans would keep any creature that provided tactile satisfaction and emotional comfort, regardless of danger. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Threnix sat down heavily. We are not prepared for this species. We are not prepared at all. Jake looked at his ruined presentation, the traumatized audience, and Mr. Whiskers, who was now trying to bite his own tail. So, Jake said, anyone want to pet the cat? Nobody volunteered. The gift appeared at 0700 hours station time, carefully placed on Threnix's desk while he was reviewing the latest human-predator containment protocols. It was a cleaning bot. Or rather, it had been a cleaning bot. Now it was a very deceased cleaning bot, with distinct claw marks across its chassis and one of its sensor arrays completely detached. Mr. Whiskers sat beside it, tail swishing proudly, making direct eye contact with Threnix. Ambassador Morrison, Threnix said into his communicator, his voice achieving a pitch that the translator struggled to process. Your predator has committed murder. Jake arrived 7 minutes later, still in his pajamas, to find Threnix backed into the corner of his own office while Mr. Whiskers sat on the desk like a furry, self-satisfied emperor. Oh, dude, he brought you a present. That is so sweet. Sweet? Sweet? It killed a station maintenance unit. It was already broken. See the rust on the joints? He probably found it in a maintenance shaft. Jake picked up the dead bot, examining it. Yeah, this thing has been non-functional for weeks. That is not the point. The point is that your animal hunted, killed, and delivered the corpse to my workspace as a what? A threat? A declaration of territorial dominance? As a gift. It means he likes you. Threnix's antennae did a complicated gesture that Jake's cultural database translated as, I am experiencing cognitive dissonance on a Pleiadian, philosophical level. Explain to me, using small words because I no longer trust my translator, how delivering dead things indicates affection. Jake sat down, much to Threnix's alarm because it put him closer to Mr. Whiskers. The cat immediately headbutted Jake's hand, demanding pets. Okay, so, cats are hunters, right? We have established this. In the wild, Mother cats teach their kittens to hunt by bringing them prey. When house cats bring their humans dead things, or formerly alive things, they are either trying to teach us to hunt because they think we are terrible at it, or they are sharing their success with us because they consider us family. It thinks I am family, or that you need hunting lessons. Hard to say. Cat motivations are mysterious. Mr. Whiskers meowed, a tiny sound completely at odds with his predator status. It is vocalizing, Threnix said, still pressed against the wall. Is that a threat display? He is saying hello. Cats meow almost exclusively to communicate with humans. They barely do it with each other. So it has developed a specialized communication system specifically for your species. Yeah, over thousands of years of domestication. They figured out that making certain sounds gets them what they want from humans. That is sophisticated psychological manipulation. Or it is cute. Depends on your perspective. Gremble arrived then, summoned by Threnix's earlier panic. He took one look at the scene, the dead bot, the cat, Jake sitting calmly, and Threnix having what appeared to be an existential crisis, and sighed deeply. Emergency council session, Gremble announced. Threnix called it. Everyone is convening in 10 minutes. For what? The human predator problem. Apparently the council has decided this needs to be addressed officially. 20 minutes later, Jake found himself standing in the center of the council chamber, with Mr. Whiskers in his arms, facing a semicircle of very concerned alien diplomats. Ambassador Cleet was presenting his case, feathers still somewhat ruffled. And so, esteemed colleagues, I move that we require all Earth animals to be classified as Class 7 biological hazards and subject to immediate quarantine protocols. That seems excessive, Jake interjected. Does it, Ambassador Morrison? Does it really? Cleet pulled up a holographic display. In the 72 hours since your arrival, we have had 14 reports of panic attacks, 7 habitat evacuations, 1 completely traumatized Aquarian delegation that is demanding hazard pay, and a cleaning bot murder. Okay, when you list it like that, how else should I list it? Threnix, who had regained some composure, raised a hand. Perhaps we are approaching this incorrectly. Ambassador Morrison, help us understand. How do humans interact safely with these creatures? You just, pet them, Jake demonstrated, running his hand along Mr. Whiskers' back. The cat arched into the touch, purring. And the purring sound does not indicate imminent attack. No, it means he is happy. How do you know he is happy and not preparing to strike? Because I have had cats my whole life and you just learned the difference. That is not scientifically helpful, Gremble muttered. Jake set Mr. Whiskers down on the floor. The cat immediately walked over to Threnix and began rubbing against his legs, the universal cat gesture for, "You are now my property." Threnix froze. It is touching me. Why is it touching me? He is scent marking you. It means he claims you as part of his territory. I do not consent to being territory. Too late. You are cat property now. Mr. Whiskers flopped over onto his back, exposing his belly. The entire council gasped. Is that a submission display? Ambassador Rolt asked. Actually, it is a trap, Jake said cheerfully. He is showing you his belly, which looks like an invitation to pet it. But if you try, there is a 60% chance he will grab your hand, with all 4 paws and bunny kick you. Why would he display vulnerability as a trap? Because cats are chaos agents. We have been trying to figure this out for 10,000 years. Threnix, against all better judgment and possibly out of diplomatic obligation, slowly reached down toward Mr. Whiskers. I would not, Jake started to say. Too late. Threnix's hand entered the danger zone. Mr. Whiskers' eyes went wide. Paws deployed. Gentle bunny kicks commenced, claws carefully retracted because he was being polite. Threnix yanked his hand back, staring at it in horror. It attacked me. No, he played with you. If he attacked you, you would know. See? No scratches. The restraint required to not use claws during that maneuver, Gremble said quietly, indicates remarkable control. Yeah, cats can be surprisingly gentle when they want to be. They have amazing fine motor control. It is how they can kill a mouse without damaging it too badly, or play with a human without hurting them. The council members exchanged glances. So, Ambassador Rolt said slowly, this creature actively chooses not to harm you, despite having the capability to do so? Every single day. That is kind of the whole point of domestication. And you trust it to continue making that choice? Jake looked at Mr. Whiskers, who was now grooming his paws with great dignity, as if the belly trap incident had never occurred. Yeah, Jake said. I do. With my life. Actually, humans have been doing it for thousands of years. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Either humans are the most trusting species in the galaxy, Threnix said finally, or the most dangerous. And I am not sure which possibility concerns me more. The council was still debating the Mr. Whiskers situation when Ambassador Torvik walked into the chamber. Or rather, stalked. The Carthax were the galaxy's most feared mercenary species, standing nearly 3 meters tall with obsidian exoskeletons, 4 arms ending in blades, and a military record that made entire star systems surrender at the mention of their name. Torvik had been away on assignment and was just returning to the station. He stopped dead when he saw Jake holding Mr. Whiskers. Then he made a sound that the translator interpreted as joyful screaming. "Is that a felis catus?" His voice boomed through the chamber. "An actual earth cat." Everyone stared. Yeah, Jake said. "This is Mr. Whiskers." Torvik's 4 blade arms retracted instantly into what could only be described as polite position. "May I approach? I do not wish to startle the magnificent creature." "I am sorry," Threnix said. "Did you just call the predator magnificent?" "The cat, yes. They are legendary." Torvik moved closer with surprising gentleness. "We have studied Earth fauna extensively. Cats are considered the perfect predator. Efficient, elegant, and utterly ruthless when necessary." "See?" Cleet squawked. "Even the murder species agrees it is dangerous." "Dangerous, yes, but also." Torvik reached into a pouch on his belt and pulled out something small and furry. It was a hamster. A live, fat, happy-looking hamster in a tiny, specially made habitat ball. The council chamber erupted. "You keep prey as pets?" Gremble was standing now. "The Carthax warrior clans keep prey animals?" Torvik's expression, insofar as his species could make expressions, was defensive. "This is Nibbles. He is a symbol of the ultimate prey. The creature so vulnerable, so defenseless, that keeping it alive demonstrates our power over life and death itself." "That is the most convoluted rationalization I have ever heard," Jake said, grinning. "Also," Torvik added quietly, "he is very soft, and I enjoy watching him stuff his face pouches with seeds. It brings me peace." The silence that followed was deafening. "So let me get this straight," Threnix said, his color cycling through what Jake had learned to recognize as hysterical laughter. "Humans keep predators as pets because they are soft and make them happy. The Carthax keep prey as pets because they are soft and make them happy. What other perspectives are we missing?" Ambassador Roltz slowly raised a tentacle. "My species keeps Earth-Venus flytraps. They are plants that eat insects. We find their carnivorous nature fascinating yet manageable. I have a collection of earth scorpions," another ambassador admitted. "Very low maintenance." One by one, ambassadors began confessing their earth animal-keeping habits. Earth goldfish for meditation. Earth hermit crabs for their amusing shell-swapping behaviors. Someone even had an earth tarantula, which they swore was very well behaved. "Wait," Jake said. "You guys have all been keeping earth animals this whole time and freaking out about my cat?" "In our defense," Cleet muttered, "none of us brought them to council meetings." Torvik was now sitting on the floor, having received permission to pet Mr. Whiskers. The galaxy's most dangerous mercenary was making baby talk sounds at a housecat, while the cat purred and headbutted his blade arms. "This is remarkable," Torvik said. "The trust required for such an interaction. On Earth, you say millions of these live among humans? 600 million, give or take. And they simply choose not to harm you? Most of the time. I mean, sometimes they get overstimulated and give you a warning bite. But yeah, mostly they are chill." Gremble sat down heavily. "I think I finally understand. Every species sees danger differently based on their own evolutionary history. What is terrifying to us is normal to you. What is adorable to you might be horrifying to others." "Exactly," Jake said. "And Torvik thinks my cat is cool while keeping something I consider cute as a symbol of ultimate power." "Nibbles is very powerful," Torvik said defensively. "His cheek pouches can hold up to 20% of his body weight in food." "That is actually kind of impressive," Jake admitted. Threnix stood, his color finally settling into something like resigned amusement. "I believe we have all learned something today about perspective and cultural differences. Ambassador Morrison, I move that Miss Whiskers be granted diplomatic immunity as a cultural representative of Earth." "All in favor?" Gremble asked. Every hand, tentacle, appendage, and gaseous pseudopod in the room went up. Motion passed. The cat can stay. Mr. Whiskers, sensing that he had won, proceeded to celebrate by attacking his own tail. "There is one more thing," Cleet said nervously. You mentioned before that you have another pet at home. What is a dog exactly? Jake pulled out his communicator and showed them a picture of his German Shepherd, Rex, sitting majestically in the backyard. Oh, that is not so bad, Threnix said. It actually looks rather noble. Yeah, Rex is great, super loyal, very protective, extremely intelligent. He can understand like 200 words. How large is that specimen? About 40 kilos. Pure muscle. He can run 40 kilometers per hour, and his bite force is about 140 kilograms per square centimeter. The color drained from Threnix's entire body. But very friendly, Jake added quickly. Great with kids. Ambassador Morrison, Gremble said slowly, please tell me you are not planning to bring the dog to the station. Well, 6 months is a long time. I was going to ask about pet transport for my next visit. Torvik perked up. Earth dogs are legendary among my people. The loyalty, the pack-bonding behavior, the tactical cooperation in hunting situations. I would very much like to meet Rex. Absolutely not, Threnix said. I am drawing a line. We have accepted the cat. We have learned about perspective. We have grown as a council. But I am not prepared for whatever a dog is. Jake grinned. Rex would love you. He is great with new people. That is what you said about the cat. Yeah, and you guys became friends. Eventually. Mr. Whiskers meowed in agreement, then promptly fell asleep on Torvik's lap. The deadly Carthax warrior looked absolutely delighted. As Jake left the council chamber, he could hear Threnix behind him. Pix, please update my calendar. Block out time for therapy, extensive therapy, and someone research Earth dogs. I need to know what we are dealing with. Also, Torvik called out, ask him about the Earth dolphins. I have heard they are remarkably intelligent. There are more. Threnix's voice echoed down the corridor. Jake smiled and headed back to his quarters. 6 months at Zenith Station was going to be a lot more entertaining than he had anticipated. And wait until they found out about humans keeping snakes, iguanas, and that one guy in Florida who wrestled alligators for fun. But that was a conversation for another day. For now, he had successfully introduced the galaxy to Earth's greatest cultural export, the absolute chaos of humanity's relationship with the animal kingdom. Behind him, he could hear Gremble asking the question that would haunt the council for years to come. If they keep predators as pets, what do humans consider actually dangerous? Jake decided not to tell them about Australia. They were not ready for Australia. Not even close.